Welcome to Pull Up with Miles and Owen, episode 58. Today, we've got West Virginia's JJ Quinerly, all Big 12 Player of the Year, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, and finalist for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. She's up and down the Mountaineers record books, and she's currently preparing. She took a little bit of time out of a stressful week. She's currently preparing for next week's WNBA draft. JJ, thank you so much for pulling up with us.
No, thank you for having me.
We
A
just have to
pleasure for
start there.
sure.
Yeah, we got to start there. We got to start with just how wild this turnaround is. Every year, it's ridiculous.
It's definitely been crazy. Like didn't really expect it how fast it would go until as soon as we lost that UNC game, literally packed up my apartment in West Virginia and came down here to Virginia and then immediately started working out.
So after that game, how quickly do you have to mentally close that one door, you as a collegiate athlete, and just flip that mindset to, okay, now I'm about to be a pro. How
Yeah.
just like compartmentalize like that?
I probably flipped the switch soon as the game was over. I made sure I needed to get the going because I knew how quick the season would start. So definitely got to make sure I'm staying in shape. So I'm ready to and prepare for what's going to happen in training camp.
Well, you're definitely going to stay in shape because you have no time to fall out of shape. It's
Exactly.
such a fast turnaround. Do you think you've given yourself the time to process being done at West Virginia, or do you think that's something that you're going to have to like after the W rookie season is done, finally give that your goodbye, your thinking, and your energy, just because right now you're just kind of on to the
Yeah.
next?
Honestly, I haven't really given any type of thought to it. I've just been grinding, trying to stay active, keeping going. So I don't really have to think about it because it's a little sad. So, but definitely ready for the next step.
Before we move off the topic, we've heard you're in the middle of doing 3 a day workouts. I can't even comprehend. Like one a day is tough enough for me. I've
Oh
heard
my God.
2 a days. I'm not even sure I've heard of 3 a days. So like, what does a 3 a day workout schedule look like for you?
All right, so today was only two, so kind of
Easy.
died down a little
Light
today.
work.
But yesterday, yesterday it was basically so I go to PT first in the morning, just to get my body right, mobility, any like treatment I need on my legs and stuff like that. And then I head over to TNDO gym with my trainer G, and he does what he does. Let's just say that he does what he does. It's definitely a good workout though. Not too crazy on my body, not really trying to hurt me, gotta go in play soon. So definitely just trying to hone some strengthening skills, working on like mobility, power movements, agility and things like that. So it's been pretty wild. And then after that I'll go do my basketball work. I was working on my shooting mechanics and dribbling and stuff like that, and conditioning as well. So yeah, I actually ran a mile. No, I ran 2 miles on the beach the other day, and one, I hate sand. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like I really hate sand. So I ran with my socks on, and like my socks was soaking wet. Like it was funny, but it was a good run though.
That's like
This is
5 miles on flat ground.
this is validating for me too. I hate sand. I'm like
I
the beach
really
is
hate
nice,
sand.
but sand is so annoying. So I can't
Yes.
imagine seeking it out to do running. I want to go back a little bit to growing up. Like, what are your earliest memories of getting into sports or just, basketball in general? And yeah.
Honestly, probably as soon as I came out the womb, like my dad's a football coach. He played football, played basketball, played baseball. He played probably all the sports that you can think of, ran track. My brother also played baseball, football. I think just baseball and football. And we always like as we were younger, we played soccer as well. So like I initially fell in love with soccer. And then probably around like that seventh grade time when you first go into your AAU team, and then I kind of fell in love with it first off the like bonds I created with my teammates. Like I'm still friends with them to this day. Like I call them every day. I literally just talked to one earlier, probably about to go see her later. But yeah, just the bonds that we created, and then I started to figure out I'm feel actually like pretty good at it. So then I just kept going. Per my dad's decision, because he didn't really want me to play soccer because he didn't want me to tear my ACL, but I had ended up doing it actually my sophomore year of high school, and he was like, "That is so crazy." He was like, but definitely glad he chose the sport, and I I ended up falling in love with it as well. So it kind of that's a little place we have together. So yeah.
That's so cool. I got a couple follow-ups to that end because we've had a number of players on the podcast who've played soccer, and I always love talking to players who played a lot of sports growing up because like we're now in this era of like ultra specialization where it's like,
Mhm.
all right, you just play one sport your whole life. And like you can get a little burnout doing that, I feel like.
Yeah.
And not to mention the applications of other sports when you kind of cross over. Do you feel like
Exactly.
soccer, because you're such a prolific passer, do you feel like that vision, like just growing up playing different sports, kind of helps you at all growing with basketball?
Oh, definitely. I feel like soccer helped me, of course, with my speed, ability to like kind of get a lot of steals, anticipate where the ball is going, of course, the vision, like you said. And then softball, I would say kind of catching a little bit. I got hands. I played football as well, like growing up too. So definitely got them hands on me for sure. So there's a couple of sports that I could say definitely has translated over to my game.
That was gonna be my other follow-up was I had read that you grew up playing football a little bit and were like safety defensive back, and it's like makes so much sense when we watch you play defense. It's like
Yeah.
this is something that's just ingrained in you from those
Yeah.
early football games.
Boy, I would say like things I would say I would do on the court that kind of come from football. I would say like if the person who got the ball like say she kind of dribble past me a little bit and I can't really catch up, she a little quick. So I'll start playing defense backwards. Like I'll twist my hips and then go backwards and try to get back in front. That's a
Yeah.
couple of things I do, or like passes that are in the air. I can kind of maneuver or anticipate where it's going, kind of get that still a little bit. So yeah,
That's so cool. I feel like cornerback to me has always seemed like the toughest position in football because
I
it's like,
think so. Yeah,
yeah, you're like guarding the best player on the other team, but you have to run backwards. So that makes
backwards
so much sense.
exactly.
That
Other
that's
than the QB, but yeah.
yeah, true, true, true. That's a great point.
Well, also Dominique Foxworth always said, who played in the NFL, he always said like the wide receiver knows where they're going. You have no idea. You're just
you,
reacting. You're
you
just
just
going off of their
reacting.
bodies
Yeah,
too. So
instinct.
it's even harder.
Yeah, my brother actually plays safety. I'm probably more the most athletic one. He's more like up here. Like he gonna get what he get based off of knowing the plays or just reading. All right, he know what's about to happen already before the ball even snaps. So like he's like that.
That's cool to hear.
I wanted to actually use this as a transition to talk about Press Virginia a little bit because you talk about having the cerebral mindset, but like there was a lot of trust that Mark Kellogg was putting into you, and I pulled a quote from him where he said, "She's just a tone setter. I just
Hmm.
tried to put a system around her that allows her to flourish and shine. She's a ball hawk, quick hands, dynamic feet, so quick
Hmm.
and fast on the open floor, reads and anticipates." So it sounds like you do have a lot of those safety qualities where
Yes.
you just know the tendencies so well.
Hmm.
And obviously you obviously have your athleticism then to execute
Yeah.
because you got to figure out what's happening, then get there. At my age,
Exactly.
I try to bait people into stuff that I used to be able to get back on, and
Hmm.
I'm not moving that quick anymore. But
Hey,
how much pride do you just take in being that defensive leader, the head of the snake for your team?
I think I started taking pride in that in high school. Like my high school coach was like our team was definitely defensive, like a defensive backbone to the team. So like we pressed full game or we literally full court man the whole game. Like it's been times we had to sit in the zone after at halftime and play with our hands behind our back because the score was so bad. Like that intensity and that mindset definitely came from high school, and then I just carried it on to college. And with Coach Carey, who initially was the coach at West Virginia, he kind of had a similar mindset, definitely aggressive defense and stuff like that. He didn't really press as much, but then Kellogg just made my whole made everything light up. I could go out there and just get steals and just run around, just create havoc. Yeah. So he definitely kind of upped my game a little bit with adding that press for sure.
Is there a moment growing up in your competitive
Mhm.
basketball career where you realize like, oh, I'm a little bit different as a defender. Like I might have it in a way that other people on my level do not.
um, I think it's been a lot of instances, like a couple of steals that I got, or and how I got to steal just amazed me. Like I would watch it back a lot of the times and be like, bro, how did I do that? Like it's I don't know, it's been a lot of instances I would say leading up to like college, even in college, like I'd be so surprised. I'm like, bro, like what did I just do? Like how did I do that? So yeah, it's definitely been a couple instances.
One of my favorite stats that I found in prepping for this conversation was that there have been, and I wonder if you know this, but there have been only four players, you included, to be named Defensive Player of the Year multiple times in the Big 12. Do you know the other names on that list?
Mm-mm.
It's Courtney Paris, Brittany Griner, and Lauren Cox. And they are all 6'4" or
Six, I
taller.
was about to say 6'4" and up.
So yeah,
God.
how do you define that where it's like you are showing out for the guards and you're like, this does not have to be a bigs league.
Yeah.
How much pride do you take in that aspect?
Oh, I take a lot of pride in it. I'm definitely that type of person. I don't fear height. Like I don't care. Like you see how I go to the hoop and get to the rim. Like I don't fear anything down there. So on the defensive end, it's the same way. I might go up and block a post player shot. I'll go down there and guard a post player if I need to. So I just have no fear in that sense.
Would you rather pick a guard's pockets, go the other way, pick six, or block a post player?
Block a post player.
I love it.
Like I get those pick sixes all the time. Like blocking the post fair, it's not too many times where I'm gonna get that. So I'm gonna celebrate like it's probably gonna be my last time.
That that just might be the most like electric play in basketball. I remember Brittany
Exactly.
Sykes blocked Brittany Griner like a few years ago, and it was like the whole internet went
Just
crazy.
go crazy.
We also want to talk about the offense a little bit because obviously, the defensive accolades speak for themselves, but so do the offensive stats. How do you approach when you're in the half court, kind of running the show and like balancing the attack mode of looking for your own shot, looking for your scoring, but also keeping everyone involved because it feels like you just always are pressing the right buttons.
Um, I would say just my instincts and being able to trust my teammates and knowing that they know that I got their back and knowing that they trust me to shoot the shots that I do take and knowing that I'm gonna trust them to shoot the shots that they take. Um, so like probably approaching a game, you usually watch film on teams. I would say a lot of teams this year they kind of compacted the lane a little bit, so I had to figure out a way to get to my spots in that compacted area, and they probably sending three defenders at me as well. So my teammates definitely helped that. I was able to like facilitate, get them involved so I can open up those shots for myself. So they kind of hesitant to kind of reach in and they not overcommitting and stuff like that. And then once that kind of opens up and I can get to that Big 12 logo, get to my pull-ups or even just change a direction, get to a lay or anything like that. So that was how I approached most of my games.
And another thing that I think you might not get enough credit for, the improvement on the free throw shooting year to year. You started as a freshman
All
69.5%. Every single year it's
right.
improved to the point where you're at like 83% as a senior. And not only did it go up every year, but the volume went up. So not only are you being more efficient at the free throw line, but you're getting more and more of them.
Mhm.
Like, how have you worked on that? Is that's been a focus? It clearly seems to have been a focus for you because that's a massive.
Oh yeah. I definitely focused a lot on that throughout my whole college career, definitely in the off seasons, just figuring out how I can get to the free throw line and then I gotta shoot a lot of free throws. So like I needed to shoot a lot of free throws to get that 83%. I was striving for a 90, but kind of messed that little goal of mine up. But it was okay. So I'll take it. But yeah, definitely just shooting a lot of foul shots, figuring out how to get people in foul trouble, playing off 2 feet, things like that. So a lot of that.
Not enough credit goes to players that are pressing 40 minutes a game and then have to go to the line because you have to lock in, breathe, slow yourself down because you're going 100 miles an hour constantly.
Yeah.
So I think that that's even more impressive than just the volume,
Mhm.
just how you're kind of staying on and staying within yourself within the context of the game too.
Yeah, for sure.
I have kind of a weird jump here, but obviously there's just there's a lot of conversation the last few years, as I'm sure you know, about the NIL era. And you're kind of a
Mhm.
unicorn, it feels like, in that you have loyalty to one program. And And it's a program that has not been without turnover. You had three coaches. You had
Yeah,
coaching changes in your 4 years there. And
yeah,
for a lot of players, that means the kid is transferring three times. Like
yeah,
that's what's happening. How important was it to you to kind of stay, because you're also from Virginia? Was that kind of
yeah.
a family thing to want to stay relatively local? Or were you just like, I'm committed here because this is the right fit for me?
I think it was a couple different things. Definitely family. Like I always wanted my family to be able to come up to the games and support me. And boy, they'd be up there probably every game, especially this year. They was up there every game. And I mean every game, even away games. So definitely that piece. And then I would say it kind of fit me in a certain way. I think honestly, I believe that all three of them coaches gave me three different sides of the game, three different systems. I was able to just adapt my game to each three of them coaches and be able to start on under each coach and flourish under each coach. I learned different things from each coach, so I'm definitely has translated over to my game now. So I'm not going to complain about them three coaches at all. I
That's
couldn't. They definitely
that's
gave me a great opportunity. So
That's such an underrated thing too, because like you don't know where you're going to go in the WNBA
exactly.
draft. Like adaptability and the ability to play in
Mhm.
different systems. Like if you only just know one thing, it's going to be
Yeah.
tricky to go to the next level. So that's cool to hear. We've had a lot of hoopers from the DMV on the podcast. So I'm going to run back a question I ask every single person from the DMV. What is different about a DMV hooper?
Um, we just some dogs. I don't know. Like it's a lot of shifty DMV hoopers, I would say. Dogs and just that can go get it. Bucket getters for sure.
I
That
remember,
that's
yeah, I was going to say the Angel McCautry quote always comes back to me. When we had Angel on, she said that when she was growing up, it didn't matter who you were. If you went to the park, people only
Exactly.
cared about can you ball? And
Exactly.
like that respect kind of instilled in her, I think, some of that
Yeah.
intensity. And it sounds like you've got some of that too, some of that fire.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was always outside at the course. Like I just seen somebody today actually when I was getting my car washed. I seen him. I usually play with him up at the court like back in like high school during like that COVID summer. He was like, "Yo, JJ," I was like talking about I see you on TV and all this stuff. He was just making sure I was good and whatever. But like definitely that respect that you gain just being out there with all them people and then of course, the whole dang near the whole city know who you are. So, you out there, they're gonna keep you safe, all that stuff, and then make sure you don't get hurt. But you also are able to just hoop and have a competitive setting out there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. I was worried that you were going to say that you played a quick game, and I was like, on your two a
Oh
day,
no no
yeah,
no
you
no
can't be
no
doing
no
that.
no 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 no
You
no.
gotta rest and recover.
No, I can't do that right now.
So one of the things that we noted also is that you were a criminology major in college.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration there? And then I've got a follow up for you after that too.
Honestly, growing up, I've always watched, Criminal Minds, Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, and things like that. So it kind of started there, and then always looking up things or watching YouTube videos on crimes and stuff like that. And then as I got into college and just seeing, all right, I can do a lot with it. Like I can help people. I could be a detective. Like I could do something with the behavioral health docket. It's actually like a mental health thing over here in Hampton, Virginia, that they do for past incarcerated mentally ill patients. Kind of help them get back on their feet, get jobs and things like that. And then I always wanted to be a detective, so looked into that. I wanted to be in the FBI, but I don't know about that situation. FBI, a little, I don't know. But yeah, so definitely a detective or that BHD is definitely a dream of mine for sure.
That's so cool. I think, well, a couple of things I have to follow up there. Now I'm just picturing like everyone's got their hype music playing and you've got like a true crime podcast as you're warming up. But
I would do something like that.
one of my best friends is a lawyer, and he always used to watch these like law TV shows. And
Hmm.
he said as soon as he went to law school, he couldn't watch those shows anymore because it was so different.
Different,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you
I
had that
mean,
experience?
honestly, when I had did an internship with the BHD, and it was crazy. Like seeing the like how the court and stuff works, and then seeing all the mentally ill patients that come in, hearing about their stories and stuff like that. It was just like it's just more real. Like TV is TV, but like this real life, so like it hits home a little bit.
Absolutely.
That's amazing to hear about, and I love your answer about the mental health facility too. Like,
Mhm.
just the people are not treated with compassion, so
Yeah.
it's really great to hear that. And kind of on that note, I read as well that you're a psychology minor, so I just
Yeah.
love that it's all kind of in the air.
Yeah.
These have so much crossover. What drew you to studying that, and just how has that experience been too?
Psychology, I've always been that person. Like I'm quiet, so like I always read the room. I try to read people before you even get to talking. I may know what you about or type of energy you giving off or anything like that. So, and then like as well, just I always wanted to know what's actually like going on inside of people's minds. Like I feel like people just everybody thinks differently, and some people think a little too differently. And I always try to wonder why, like what's the differences and what makes them tick compared to you know a normal. I wouldn't say a normal person. I can't say that, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was going to follow up on that and say, what applications have you found from that minor to basketball, to the basketball court?
I would say just like being able to read the coaches, like each coaches that came in, whether or not like we were gonna have a good relationship. I kind of knew that right off the bat. I had a good relationship with all three of the coaches, but I would say each three had their own different kind of relationship, and I approached them in different kinds of ways, just because. Psychology, people take things differently and things like that. And that kind of translates over to basketball, even with your teammates. Like, you got to be able to read your teammates, know what your teammate likes and things like that. Of course, you got to create that bond and talk with them so you can learn that. But definitely, I would say that part in psychology has helped me on the court.
Got one final one for you here before we let you get back to your 3 a day, 4 a day workouts, however many you're on.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I need to go do some shopping so I can see what I'm wearing for this draft.
I love that.
Good for you. I'm glad to hear that it's not back at the gym. Need that balance. We asked this to almost everyone. It
Mhm.
started with when we had Izzy and Dory Harrison on the podcast, but I gotta ask about music. If you had your Spotify or Apple Music, whatever, on shuffle, who's most likely to pop up? Who's some of your favorite artists of all time?
NBA young boy, um, Tootsie,
Ooh,
J. Cole, and I got some Glorilla in there, so I'm gonna say Glow.
love it. That's
I
fantastic.
love, I love when you ask this question, the first answer always comes so quick too. And then you got
Yeah.
to refresh because like, we could have stopped there. That was the answer. JJ, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us,
Thank you
especially
for
in the middle
having
of
me.
your, yeah, one of the busiest weeks of your life, I'm sure. It's only going to get busier. Um,
Yes.
but we are excited to see you at the next level. And
Thank you.
thank you and good luck.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.